All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about more fun theories regarding the new roadmap and the blog that was released that was teasing the upcoming showcase stream and just a lot of things going on. And today we have some more interesting theories and some interesting positions on clues, not just in the roadmap, but in the blog that was released by the dev team themselves. So I've pulled up a lot of Reddit posts that I've been looking through, and I've seen some really neat stuff today, and I'm just going to share these with you guys. We're going to talk about them, and then you can put your thoughts in the comments below on this video. So first, we're going to focus on this Reddit post, and it was called Roadmap Hint Theory. So it states, I have a theory or two as to the hidden hint in the roadmap. And then they quoted Tide You Over, Showcase Stream, and Stitch a New Mystery. So if you're wondering what this is about, I'm going to pull up the dev blog that we saw and I'll show you exactly what they're referencing, and then we'll talk about their theory. Okay, first up, so, here's the roadmap that we got, and below that, down here, as they're kind of exiting out this chapter, it states, later in the year, we'll bring you another exciting showcase where we'll reveal some big surprises still to come in 2024. Hopefully, the teaser in the roadmap will tide you over, alongside information about the 2025 roadmap. So there are some players out there that think that the choice of words here is a hint. Now, it might be, it might not be. I personally don't know, but I do love reading these theories. It's just so fun. So yeah, they were saying this whole tide you over thing is a clue, and then we're going to talk about what they think that's in reference to. Now, another interesting thing here is the Stitch a New Mystery together. As we see in the roadmap, it's obviously Sally, but they were, thinking that the Stitch a New Mystery together is a reference at two possible characters being included, and we'll talk about why that is. Now, whether or not I agree with these theories is beside the point. I just like sharing them with you guys. So, I'm not saying I think there's two characters here. I just want you to hear the theory, and then you can make your own assumptions from there. Now, lastly, they also pointed out Showcase Stream as if stream was a hint, but I think that might be a bit of a stretch, referencing Tide and Stream. I mean, they are streams. They do broadcast these showcases, so I don't think Showcase Stream was a direct hint, but that's the third thing they referenced, so I wanted to show you where that was on the roadmap. Anyway, let's go back to their post and we'll talk about what their theory is. Okay, so returning to Big Position 391's post here, it states roadmap hint theory. I have a theory or two as to the hidden hint in the roadmap Tide You Over, Showcase Stream, Stitch a New Mystery. Theory 1. Could we be getting Lilo in addition to Sally for Christmas with a family/together theme? So I thought that was kind of an interesting take, because it did say Stitch a New Mystery, and they're kind of saying, what if Sally comes for Jack and Lilo comes for Stitch for like a Christmas together kind of event? Now, do I think there are going to be two characters there? I don't know. I mean, I think it's definitely just going to be Sally, but that's what I think. So there are a lot of people out there on YouTube that'll tell you that's not going to happen, or this is definitely going to happen. What I'm going to tell you is, well, this is what I think, and this is what they think. I don't know, because I don't work for Gameloft. And don't trust anybody who says otherwise. If somebody, like I said, if somebody tells you this is what's going to happen or this is not what's going to happen, trust me, they have no idea. And if they did, they would have to sign an NDA. Anyway, the next thing here says theory 2. Could we be getting water decorating tools and the power to move pawns? So they were saying this because of the Tide You Over and the Showcase Stream. So like the water wording there. I don't know. I mean, I do know they kind of hinted at us having new ways to decorate or get more room in our valleys. So if we were able to remove waterways, that could be a huge way of going about that. But I don't know. I feel like that would be such a well-hidden clue. And I don't know what else they could have used in terms of wording here for Showcase Stream. So it just feels like it was the proper words. It doesn't, feel like it was put there as a hint. And tide you over, I kind of feel like is the same. I think that's just kind of a common phrase to use here. I do like this theory. I think this is really fun. But, and don't get me wrong, I would absolutely love to be able to get more ways to decorate water. We definitely need more water decor. I would love ways to move ponds and stuff. This has been something a lot of people have asked about. So, of course, I would be happy to see these things. But do I think that the wording here was hinting at this? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so. But again, that's just me. That's just my thought. Tell me what you think in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on this. Do you think that these are special secret hints? Do you think we're gonna get Lilo in, the winter, and we're gonna bring Lilo and Stitch together for a beautiful Christmas with Sally and Jack? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Let's move on to the next fun theory. So the next thing we're going to take a look at here are some discussions about the new features for crowded valleys. As the dev blog did allude to the fact that we're going to be able to get more space, but they didn't say how. So nobody knows how that's going to work. And a lot of people are very curious about this, reasonably so, because we love decorating and the idea of having more room is a very exciting prospect. So this post reads, the latest post from the dev says, we've also heard that your valleys are getting a little crowded. We're working on new free features that will help to give you much more space and freedom to decorate. What do you think this looks like? I think that there could be a possibility maybe to have characters be roommates, or maybe you can change the size of their house, maybe just hide their houses. So first off, being able to hide houses, this is something I've been thinking might be part of it. Also, Daisy's shop has been getting in the way of Dreamsnaps because the Touch of Magic toggle does not hide the Touch of Magic clothes in the windows. So we do need a way to hide and remove buildings. So if we did have that, I think that would not only give us more room, but would give us more creative flexibility on how we design our valleys. I don't really like a lot of the villager houses. In fact, I have exiled a vast majority of my villagers to Eternity Isle just so I can place the beautiful premium houses instead. And I think the devs know this. I think the devs know that if they want people to keep buying these premium houses, they're going to need a place to put them. So if we could hide villager houses or just delete villager houses and put them in our inventory instead, that would be awesome. We can always place them if we had a quest that required this, or, if there was no quest that we needed their house for, the villager could just spawn in on the wells. It's just like the villagers show up to Eternity Isle, even if their houses aren't there. That can happen in the valley as well. So it would be nice if we could do away with the houses. This is really what I was thinking the more room was going to be in reference to. As far as moving water around, like I said, I would love that, but I don't know if that's something we're going to see just yet. I do think being able to hide or remove houses is a pretty big possibility though. Moving down, here are some of the responses. Whale Up here said, I'm thinking we'll be able to hide houses. That should be a feature at some point. I imagine with the amount of villagers we will eventually have. Our next comment here says, my wish is that it would be an aesthetic mode to turn off spawns that get in the way of decorating, but that's a pipe dream. Being able to combine villagers would be great, like moving Ariel in with Eric or Minnie and Mickey together. Yeah, that's reasonable. Captain Insect here said, I'm hoping they either give us the opportunity to move immovable objects like Mother Gothel's house, the treehouse in the Forgotten Lands, or they expand biomes, or give us a new DLC with new biomes. So I definitely think a new DLC is coming. I think we're all aware that that is going to be coming to the game, but that doesn't change the fact that we do need more decorating space in our valley, in our core valley. Now, do I think we'll be able to move the treehouse or Mother Gothel's home? I really don't think so. It feels like it's integrated into the map. Now, the treehouse, maybe. I think the treehouse actually might be able to be moved whenever we can move or delete villager houses. I think there's a chance we'll be able to delete the treehouse as well. I'm sure the devs have been listening to people talk about that. But some of these built-in staples like Mother Gothel's house or Elsa's ice cave, I do not see those ever being movable because they are, like I said, they are built into the map. Now, I don't know. I mean, I guess if the devs really wanted to, they could find a way, but I would think it's going to be much more likely we would see houses able to get hidden or removed rather than, like the ones that you can move already rather than the ones that you can't. But yeah, Cactus Falcon here said, how wild would it be if they expanded the beach after all to some of the islands we can see in the distance, or the mystery area above the Forgotten Lands? I know that doesn't really help with the item limit, but would love to see a bit more beach space. More beach space would be nice. That's been one of the big drawbacks with Dazzle Beach, to be honest, is that you are really limited on what you can place there with that small shore. Now, there are bigger areas too, like the big grass nook and some other areas you can decorate in, but this is why I've always wanted more water decor. I feel like I can have a lot more fun on the beach if I could just put more stuff out in the water. And here's Maggie Dazzy, another person saying, I'm thinking might be able to move pawns. So another person thinking we'll be able to move pawns here. Like I said, I would love to see that. I absolutely would love to see that, but I'm just not sure if that's going to happen. I would be very happy about it, but I think it's going to be a lot easier for the devs to code in the ability to remove homes, because we can already send them off to Eternity Isle. So what's the difference of just putting them in our inventory? But yeah, let me know your thoughts on this, you guys. Let me know what you think the new features are going to be for Crowded Valleys. What were the devs referring to when they said they're working on new features that will help us by giving us more space and freedom to decorate? What do you think they are cooking up? And for our final topic here, we are revisiting the infamous book that everybody has been going crazy about. So there, like I mentioned in my Wednesday video, there are so many theories about this book, and there is something about it I did not mention on my Wednesday video that I really do want to mention here. Before we read this interesting Snow White theory, there is one thing I do want to add. I personally think this is going to be the new royal tool. And it is possible that it's not even tied to a certain villager. So it's possible that it's just something that we uncovered, just like we uncovered the hourglass. So there are a lot of theories that are circulating around what character will be attached to this book. Whose book is it? Is it the Evil Queen from Snow White, Maleficent? Is it Merlin's? We really don't know. Nobody actually knows. And we don't even know if it is tied to a character. We don't know if it's their book. So the reason I think this is going to be the new royal tool, let me go ahead and show you my big reason for that. All right, so pulled up here, we have the newest roadmap that we just got our hands on. Content roadmap, you got Tiana, you got Timon and Pumbaa, and then down here in the corner, it says Showcase Stream. And I definitely think that this book is tied into the new DLC that is going to be coming soon. So we see this book, a lot of people are wondering, whose book is it? What character does this mean we're getting? But what if there is not a character with this book? What if it is just the new royal tool? Now, we're going to read a really good Snow White type theory for this book and why a lot of people think this is the Evil Queen's book, which it very well could be, but it also could not be. There are similarities between this book and the Evil Queen's book, but there are also some differences. So, it's not a carbon copy. It could just be its own thing. So around this time last year, I think it was around May or April or May that we got this one. This was for the Eternity Isle teaser. And notice what they teased here. They have this hourglass, and it's kind of alluding at the theme, and also it ended up having to do with our royal tool. Our royal tool that we got in the Rift in Time expansion, of course, was the royal hourglass. So now here we are 1 year later getting a new roadmap to look at, and we have this new item down here. So, there was actually not a villager tied to this hourglass. There was not a villager who owned the hourglass. It did not belong to them. It actually ended up belonging to the hero. So this could be the case with this book. I just want to point that out. All of these theories, like I've shared theories about Maleficent. I've seen people share theories about the Evil Queen from Snow White, and some of these theories may end up being true. I just like sharing theories because they're fun and they give us something to talk about. It's enjoyable. But I also want to point out that there's always a chance that there is no character tied to this book. That's a possibility. It could just be the new royal tool, and we're getting our first look. Like, how cool would it be if the new royal tool was some kind of spell book that we can use, something we can carry around and we can use it to clear new obstructions? We did get a new royal tool in Eternity Isle, so we may get a new royal tool in this update as well. Though I will say, last year, we got a little bit more information. On the roadmap last year, it says a new chapter begins, new characters, new frontiers, multiplayer, new royal tool, and other magical surprises. This year, it just says, tune in for plenty more announcements coming later this year. So that right there tells you we don't know a lot. We really don't. And again, just to be extra clear, if anybody tells you they do know, it's either clickbait or they are just feeling very confident, but the only people that actually know what's coming to the game are the devs, and I guarantee you they are under non-disclosure agreements. I guarantee you they are. So, we all have fun theories, and I love reading your theories. I love hearing your theories. They are a blast, but keep in mind, everything you hear from me on any of this is simple speculation, and it's just for fun and for entertainment. And please be careful. Misinformation runs rampant, so when you do find content on Reddit or YouTube or Discord, take it with a grain of salt. If someone tells you this person is definitely coming to the game, or this person is absolutely not coming to the game, or this new book is a royal tool, just take it with a grain of salt, because they don't know. I don't know. You don't know, and they don't know. There is a small group of people that actually know, and they all work for Gameloft, and they all signed NDAs. So just keep that in mind, and that will help limit the spread of misinformation. And please do your best to keep in mind that when I do these videos, they are for fun, they are for entertainment. No matter what theory I pitch or what I bring up, it's just to spark conversation, nothing more, nothing less. Don't watch my video and then go run to somebody and say, oh my God, did you hear so-and-so is definitely coming to the game? Don't do that. It's not good. Their theories, they're fun. All right, let's move on to the final theory here. Back to the infamous book. And I really like what Amy Lay rolled out here. Now, this was wrote a while ago. It says 3 hours, but it was actually, this has just been open on my computer for like 4 hours, so it's been up for like 7 or 8. But here is an extensive little theory about why this expansion will be based around Snow White. And I'll read this and then I'll provide some possible counter arguments or why that might not be the case, and what about this theory I really do like versus what I don't like. So we have Snow White expansion, question. And Amy states, why I think the next expansion will be based around Snow White. I think the teaser given to us for the next expansion is going to be based around Snow White, and the big bad will be the Queen. I just finished watching Snow White to confirm my theory. So much of the book resembles the movie and story lore we know from Disney. Let's start off with the book. The Queen uses a book to create her potion. I think the book in our picture resembles the book in the movie that has the skull resting on it. Oh, and by the way, we're going to be looking through some pictures she attached here too, so we'll do that in a minute. It has a red spine and metal tips on the corners. It was surrounded by melted candles. In the movie, the ribbon bookmark is the same. I think the color was changed to red to match the red ribbon Snow wears in her hair. The book stand has a branch on it that greatly resembles the tree branch style that was used in the Snow White movie with the sharp angles. The end of the branch looks like the tree that hovers over Snow White in her coffin. The bottom of the stand holds more books that resemble the books the Queen has on a shelf in the movie that she takes her spell book from. The last clue is the table runner. Some people refer to it as a table skirt. It is the same color as Snow's skirt in the movie, and the way it's draped over the stand greatly resembles the way Snow was laid out in her glass coffin. The color of the stand matches the color of the coffin as well. I think the expansion is going to be the best way to bring Snow into the world and into the game to allow room for dwarves to come along. I still think Maleficent is related to the Forgotten Lands and will be a main valley addition. I hope if it's Snow White based that we get turtles as companions. Plus, the live action of Snow White is coming out March 2025. 2025. This is a good point here. So if the game continues to release stuff related to Disney events, then giving us Act 1 in December is the perfect hype for Christmas. And when major trailers will be dropping for the movie, Act 2 would fall under the same movie release date, and Act 3 would fall about the time the movie would go to streaming. So the end of this theory here is basically saying that if the update was Snow White themed, they could kind of roll it all out in unison with the movie being hyped for theaters, with the movie hitting theaters, with the movie hitting streaming services. It's reasonable from a marketing standpoint for sure. Now, some of the comparisons here I think are really strong and some are a bit of a stretch. So I really do think like the metal angles, and we can even see this in some of the pictures, when you compare the books, like look at the metal angles here. Let me hide my chat. Look at the metal angles here on this. Look at the green bookmark hanging out, same kind of style, the cloth bookmark. You got melted candles. So, you know, this makes a lot of sense. It looks kind of like this one. But I mean, also she has like multiple books. So there's another book here and it's, you know, kind of a different color. It doesn't have the edges on it. And this is another angle of this book. You can see the ribbon hanging out of it. You can see the metal linings on the corners. And then this is the tree she was talking about. She was talking about the angle of that tree that's kind of like on the altar. So I do agree with what she's saying about the angles, about how it has like a seemingly like a little bit of a metal liner on it. She's right. The bookmark is a different color, but I think that's not just to match Snow White. See, here's the only big problem I have with it being, oh, this is definitely a Snow White themed update. Snow White may play a role in the update. She may be part of it, but it was already confirmed. If we go back, remember, don't trust anything unless it's from the Dreamlight Valley team. And what I'm about to show you is, recent surveys have played an important role by providing us insight into what you'd like to see in Disney Dreamlight Valley, and 2025 is already shaping up to be a year full of exciting surprises. Between the current roadmap and the surprises still to come at our showcase, there's a lot to be excited about as Disney Dreamlight Valley continues to grow. So, as we're seeing here, this doesn't just outright say that everything in that survey is coming in 2025, but it does, for me, from a development standpoint. Before they released that survey, they already knew what this next expansion was going to be. They have to plan that out months in advance. They have to write all the story. They got to get it all approved. They got to make all the character models. They got to make the concept art for the biomes. The whole expansion that is coming at the end of this year, it's already planned. And it was already planned before this survey was released. At least that makes the most sense to me. I really don't think that they were sending out a last survey like, oh my God, what characters do we put in this expansion? And Snow White was part of this survey. They were asking people how they felt about Snow White coming to the game. So I think there's a good chance Snow White can come in 2025. And I think Snow White could be part of one of the free updates that are part of this paid expansion coming out. I think that is possible. We know there are a lot of characters coming out in 2025 that were part of this showcase, but we already know for the most part what's coming for the rest of this year character-wise for the Valley. We know we're getting Timon and Pumbaa. We know we're getting Tiana. We know we're getting Timon and Pumbaa. We know we're getting Sally. And we know we're getting a showcase that's going to give us more information. But that's really the limit of what we know. So if this whole expansion was going to be Snow White themed, they would have had to have known that a while ago. So why would they ask us how we felt about Snow White being in the game? Why would that even be in the survey if the expansion they've been planning for the end of this year for months now was Snow White themed? Now, this is my problem with the theory, okay? I'm not saying the theory is wrong. Again, to be very crystal clear, I don't know what's going to happen. But when I read a theory, I'm going to tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it. And these are the problems I have with it. So the book, it might not be tied to any particular character, just like the Hourglass had nothing to do with any Disney characters. The Hourglass had to do with the theme of the update, a rift in time, and we got an Hourglass magic tool, and we were fixing time. So this next update might be something with chaotic magic or magic run amok, and we have to use a new royal book tool, a royal spell book, if you will, to fix this magical chaos mess. I don't know. But I just want to put it out there. Hey, there might not be a character with this. And even like we saw in this theory, there were obviously things changed from this book. We know it's not the same book. Now, it still might be her book. It still very well could be the Evil Queen's book, and it could just be the Dreamlight Valley version of it. They just changed it a little bit. You know, they made it a little bit more flashy, a little bit less evil. There's no skull on the table. But I mean, the Evil Queen, you know, you have a skull, a melted candle, you have these, you know, menacing potions, you have spider webs, you have chains. This doesn't really look dark at all to me. It does not look like something that belongs to an evil queen. And also, to be fair, it doesn't look like something that belongs to Maleficent. But, you know, these are all just fun theories. What I'm trying to point out here is that I think it's important for everybody to take a moment and say, hang on, this might not have anything to do with a new character. It might just be part of the new theme. So, again, the last roadmap we got around this time last year gave us a look at an hourglass, which had nothing to do with a Disney character. It was to do with the theme of A Rift in Time, and it was to do with our new royal tool. Just saying, there's a chance that the same thing is happening here. Now, that doesn't mean we won't see the Evil Queen. It doesn't mean we won't see Snow White. It doesn't mean anything, really. It's just my thoughts. So I just wanted to put that out there, because I'm seeing all these different, I'm seeing all these different theories and arguments about who it is. I've seen some really good theories for it being Merlin's as well. That's been a very common one. It's one of the only ones I haven't explored yet. We just thoroughly explored the Snow White version. On Wednesday, we thoroughly explored the possibilities of Maleficent. I feel like I should also do a video breaking down the talk about it being to do with Merlin or the Sword in the Stone franchise. Either way, we keep on trying to tie this book to a character. And I think that somebody should take a step back and say, hey, everybody, have we considered that this is just like the Royal Hourglass? Like the timepiece that we saw in last year's roadmap, have we considered the possibility that this is not tied to any particular character and it is a new legendary item, much like the Royal Hourglass, that we will utilize to restore order and balance? And like I said, I mean, the setting, if this really was this exact book, I mean, why not have a little skull with a candle? And before you say, oh, well, Senpai, it's because we don't have skulls in Dreamlight Valley. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We have a skull with a candle on it on a pirate table. I'm pretty sure. I'm going to go look at it in a second just to double check, but I'm pretty sure we do. So if they really wanted to, if this was going to be the Evil Queen's book, they could have made it look like it was the Evil Queen's book. They really could have. And as far as this branch looking like the one over Snow White, I just don't see that. It's fun. It's a fun take, but I think it's a little bit of a stretch. So like if you look at this branch here and then we go and we look at this tree, I guess if that's what you really want to see, like if this is really what you're looking for, your brain might make that comparison. But when I look at this and then I look at this, I just don't think they have the same angle. I don't think these two things have any kind of correlation to one another. I do think that like the candles and the coloration, it could really work. So I think there is some merit to it being the Evil Queen's spellbook. I think that is for real a possibility. But I'm starting to really think that it's the new royal tool, and I'm starting to think that it's not going to be tied to any one character. It's going to be just like the Hourglass. Again, that's just my theory, my thoughts, and I wanted to share that with you guys. I do think a spellbook would be a really cool royal tool, though. A grimoire. It could be really versatile. A spellbook could do whatever you wanted it to do as a tool. It could remove certain obstructions. It could transmute things. Imagination is the limit when it comes to a spellbook. It's whatever the devs could imagine. And I think that's a really fun concept for this if it were to be a new royal tool. And there you have it, my friends. The newest and most recent theories that I've been seeing revolving around all of the hype and this mysterious new book. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about these hidden clues where people are talking about tide you over? Do you think we're going to be able to do things with water or delete pawns? As much as I would love to, I don't believe that's going to happen, but I would love to see it. What do you think about getting more space? Are we going to be able to store villager houses or delete villager houses, put them in our inventory? I personally think that there's a high chance for that, since we can already exile them to each Eternity Isle. Why not just allow us to put their houses away? And the devs keep adding new premium houses, but with all these villager houses, there's nowhere to put them. So why not just let us get rid of the villager houses so we can buy more premium houses? I mean, they want to get those moonstones, right? Let me know what you think about that. Do you think that's how this, getting more space thing is going to work? Or are you hoping that they expand on biomes? Are you hoping that we get some new access points in the valley? I don't know if that's going to happen. I think things are going to kind of stay the same as far as the layout, but I would not be mad about more space that way. And lastly, let me know your thoughts on the infamous book. Do you think there's a chance it is a royal tool? Do you think there's a chance it's not tied to a character? And if it is tied to a character, who is your favorite running theory so far? I think the most popular theory would have to be the evil queen from Snow White. And I think the second most popular might be Merlin. I think the least popular is Maleficent, because a lot of people think Maleficent is going to be tied to the main game at some point, maybe very late in the game from what I'm hearing. Either way, I know out of all of them, I want Maleficent the most, so that's wishful thinking, but out of all of those, we might not see a single one. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments below, and I'll keep you updated as I find more theories and more discussions. If you found today's video helpful, informative, or simply entertaining, please do me a very big favor and press that like button. Also, consider subscribing for more Disney Dreamlight Valley and gaming content. As always, thank you so much for your time today, and I hope you enjoy the future of Disney Dreamlight Valley.